Sadness is one of those emotions we'd rather not feel. No matter how honest we are about our feelings or how self-aware we are, sadness has a way of surprising us and enveloping us when we least expect it. While a perfectly normal part of the human experience, sadness has a way of bringing out our worst qualities, and we all react to it differently. There are a few commonalities in how we tackle this unpleasant emotion, though, which is why today we'll be talking about the signs and sadness. Let's get started. Aries. It all depends on whether Aries has an appropriate conduit for their emotions or not. When they lack an outlet, Aries' sadness transforms into anger, which they use against everyone around them at the slightest provocation. When they have an outlet, be it in the form of exercise or a craft, then they'll pour all of their negative emotions into it, transforming them into something productive. Regardless of what they do, though, one thing remains constant. Arians refuse to acknowledge their sadness and will avoid it at all costs. To cope with sadness in a healthy way, Arians need to conquer their fear of vulnerability and explore their negative emotions. Taurus. Tauruses tend to be couch potatoes who enjoy outside activities only on their terms. So when they're experiencing sadness, it's not surprising that they double down on this. A sad Taurus is a Taurus that will indulge in creature comforts while isolating themselves from others. They'll binge eat while binge watching Netflix and will reject social activities that they might have loved to participate in at any other point. While they're not opposed to acknowledging their sadness, they can easily be consumed by the things they do to feel better, so they should be careful about that. The best way of doing this is attempting to stick to a routine, no matter how unpleasant the idea may be, as this will provide the kind of stability a sad Taurus needs. Gemini. Because they're always eager to please others and are often the ones making other people laugh, they're not particularly good at feeling sad. In fact, they take it very hard. A sad Gemini will become even more of an overthinker, focusing on the thoughts that made them sad and feeling worse and worse in return. Luckily, this approach to sadness comes with its solution. It's okay to overthink things as long as you let those emotions out. Writing, filming, a vlog, even just chatting with a friend. As long as Gemini shares their feelings, they'll be able to get over that funk. Cancer. Cancer's sadness is obvious and difficult to ignore, particularly when you're not a Cancer yourself. Sad Cancers become clingier and needier than usual, requiring constant reassurance and emotional support. When they feel sad, it's not uncommon for Cancers to feel like they're not good enough, which makes them cling to their friends, which can be annoying to them, which in turn makes Cancer feel guilty and even sadder. While the urge to be close to those they love is understandable, the best way for Cancer to deal with sadness is to distract themselves from the feelings of inadequacy by doing something that keeps their minds off things. Arts and crafts serve the double purpose of distracting Cancer and leaving them with a little token they can gift to people supporting them through their sadness. Leo. While Leos don't make a conscious effort to mask their sadness, it tends to morph into stress. A sad Leo is a theatrical Leo, someone who'll blow things out of proportion and will react to even the slightest inconvenience as if it was the worst thing in the world. They're unafraid of facing and acknowledging their sadness, but unless they have someone to confide in, they'll struggle to get through the negative feelings without feeling overwhelmed. For Leo, the best course of action is to surrender their pride and allow themselves to be vulnerable with others for however long it takes to feel better. Virgo. Virgos deal with sadness by multiplying every aspect of their personality in a way that rarely makes them look good in the eyes of others. They'll become self-absorbed and blunt, will overthink even more than usual, and will simply stop considering other people's feelings while dealing with their own. While these compulsive behaviors will scare away people, even those who want to stick around to lend a hand, Virgo is lucky in the sense that to improve, they need to tackle their sadness head-on and reflect on that rather than distracting themselves with other thoughts. Apologizing to others after lashing out and hurting them is also the way to go, as it's harder to deal with guilt on top of sadness. Libra. Always wishing to maintain a semblance of balance, sad Libras will attempt to put on a happy face for others, even if they're dying on the inside. When alone, they'll be moody and lethargic, and once the effort to appear happy and unbothered becomes too much, they might shun social interactions altogether. The healthiest thing Libra can do, thus, is to stop pretending to be okay for the comfort of others and lean into friends and loved ones for comfort and reassurance. Scorpio. Though they might wish for support and understanding, a sad Scorpio will lash out and attack those who attempt to comfort them. Scorpios also try to portray themselves as strong and capable, so when they feel weak and vulnerable, they prefer to hide and lick their wounds in peace. Forcing themselves to socialize with others is counterproductive, so Scorpios should focus on spending time with only those they want to see. Sagittarius. Sagittarians look for sources of escapism, be they positive or negative. When sad, they run the risk of abusing substances to stop thinking about that sadness, and they become even more withdrawn and intolerant than usual. They have everything they need to get over their sadness on their own, but to do so, they need to actively work on it rather than escape. Capricorn. Sad Capricorns fall into what can only be described as a robotic mindset. They'll go through the motions of their day-to-day life, but will be disinterested and detached from the whole experience. While the loss of inspiration will be challenging, continuing to do passion projects is a sure way of getting Capricorn out of their funk. Aquarius. Aquarians take sadness very harshly because they hate the feeling. They'll attempt to appear happy in the hopes of feeling happy, but the truth is that when they're sad, they can only feel numb and disinterested. This numbness is often an attempt to protect themselves from negative feelings, so daring to tackle them head-on is the best way of improving. Pisces. Pisces are sensitive signs by nature, and they become even more sensitive when they're sad. A sad Pisces will obsess over whatever's making them sad, which will unleash a spiral of sadness they won't be able to get out of without conscious effort. In order to improve, Pisces will have to work on getting out of the spiral, or better yet, not falling into it to begin with.